Brothers and sisters, I always used to use this word, brothers, sisters, because basically we are same. As a matter of fact, 7 billion human beings are actually our brothers and sisters. So today, you see, we, too much emphasis, we and they. On the religious basis or national or city basis, a different country like that. And within one country, distinction, rich and poor. All these are seed of our problem. So only remedy is we must develop the sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings. All are brothers, sisters. I think child, young people, young human being, they don't care what religious faith, what different nationality. So long this is showing human affection, smile, play together. Gradually we too much emphasis on different nationality and races and color and religious faith. So now today, we already noticed many problems is our own creation. Firstly, there's a mobilized violence, that is a war. In the previous century, First World War, Second World War, and also you see different concerned people prepare Third World War. All this on the basis of too much sort of emphasis on we and they. So only remedy, reduce this kind of thing is try to develop sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings. We mentally, emotionally, physically, we are same. And then most important, everybody want happy life. Do not want trouble or problem. So on that nature, why we create a lot of problem? Why? Everybody, you see, want peace, friendly sort of society. So now, ancient India's concept, over 3,000 years, concept of ahimsa and concept of karuna. These are very basis of happy society, happy family, and ultimately happy world. So 1,000-year-old India's sort of concept, ahimsa, karuna, this I think world need. And the promotion of these things, not through ritual, prayer, but through education. we must utilize human intelligence to show violence is actually ultimately mutual destruction. So out of anger, kill one your enemy today, then next year new enemy come. Other hand, if we keep sense of brotherhood, sisterhood, no matter how difficulties from their attitude, still we are same human being. We have to live side by side with that belief and try to reach out. So these days I call dialogue is the human way to solve problem. Weapon is not human way. So I think past century produced a lot of weapon quite seriously. Everywhere some problem or some disagreement happen, they always use weapon. So some scholar, they say, past century, nearly 200 millions of people killed through violence. But problem still there. The best way solve problem is dialogue. In order to carry meaningful dialogue, you must respect other. Consider as our brothers, sisters. Small disagreement always happen, even within one individual. Morning, you have one idea, and afternoon, different idea. So these two different idea itself is a contradiction. But since this idea has come from one single person, so will not sort of causing any problem. So similarly, 10 human beings, different views, different interests, but all our human brothers, sisters give sorority, that spirit, and some little sort of problem we can solve through friendly manner. So sense of brotherhood, sisterhood, very, very important. Then this India, democratic country, rule of law, wonderful. I think rule of law and democracy, I think the result we can see. Now, India, I think second most populated nation, very peaceful. This peaceful from also wholeheartedly peace. Other side, another big populated human country, China, looks peace, but everything control. India sought peace through voluntarily, with enjoy full freedom, and little problem you can solve peaceful ways. So I think India is the, second most populated nation, peaceful. One sort of factor, rule of law. So your profession, very important to build happy society, happy country. If a lawyer or judge think more seriously about their pocket, then that's very difficult. So India, usually we describe Arya Bhumi, Bharat, Arya Bhumi, land of Arya Bhumi. So not only Aryan sort of race, in our sense, Aryan sort of, because Arya means the more mentally, through spiritual influence people more peaceful, more honest, more truthful. So, in 7th century, 8th century, Tibetan emperor, through marriage, very close link with Chinese emperor, but their heart always India side. For example, 7th century, Tibetan emperor Songtse Gampo married with Chinese princess. Then I feel he found this Chinese letter too complicated. So he, instead of learning Chinese letter, he decided to develop our own script, copy from Devanagari and alphabet, Kakakanga, Chachachanya, like that. That's 7th century. Then 8th century, Tibetan king, Chusong Tse. You see, he also, very close link with Chinese because of the, from father's time, some forefather, some sort of through marriage, very close. And also Buddhism introduced in Tibet by Chinese Buddhist. And one very important Buddha statue, originally Bodh Gaya, then eventually reached China in Xing'an, ancient Chinese capital. I have been there and I visited that temple, small Buddhist temple. In the center, one empty seat there. They say the Buddha statue from here went to and brought to Tibet with Chinese princess. So very close link. But the 8th century, the Tibetan emperor, now he, instead of bring Buddhism from China, he want Buddhism should bring directly from India. So at that time, the Nalanda really top highly developed that time. Nalanda institution produced number of top scholars. You see, we use some of these scholars' writing. We use as our text. Really wonderful. Like Nagarjuna and Arya Asanga and the Buddha Palita, Aryadeva, and for logician, Buddhist logic, the great master Dignath and Dharmakirti. Their writing still we use as our text. Study 20, 30 years. So the 8th century Tibetan king, he wanted to establish Nalanda tradition. he invited, at that time, top master of Nalanda institution, Shanda Rakshita, great logician, great philosopher and monk. He invited to Tibet, and he, in spite his old age, he accepted. He came to Tibet. He introduced Buddha Dharma according to Nalanda tradition. So since then, over 1,000 years, we Tibetan sincerely follow his teaching. So I think those Tibetan emperor, Tibetan king, they are quite because of wise thinking, long-term interest, like that. So now today, the Nalanda tradition, the Nalanda itself now ruined. Some pigeons there flying from here, there, like that. But all the knowledge which carried by Nalanda institution, you see, all, because of the brought to Tibet, and then the 8th century, the Shanda Rakshita, he advised to Tibetan emperor, since you have your own writing, so all those important texts, instead of study Sanskrit or Pali, you see, you should translate. After Shanda Rakshita reached Tibet, and he established a department of translation. He himself provided Kasara. So under his guidance, translation started. Now eventually, today we have 300 volumes in Tibetan, all translation from Sanskrit and some Pali, and perhaps some Nepalese, and very few books from translation from Chinese language. So Tibetan history over 1,000 years, as we described, Arya Bhumi, we truly become a student of ancient Indian master. So I usually telling or expressing, traditionally, you are our guru, teacher, we are chela. And then I also add someone, we quite reliable chela. All these Nalanda knowledge still we kept very alive through 30 years study. I myself also, age about 7 year old, I already started to memorizing some of these root texts. So at that time, my intelligence quite good, but I was quite a lazy student. So my teacher threatened me with one whip. So at that time, I have no interest study these things. But gradually, my life become difficult. Then these, also the ancient knowledge of India, extremely helpful to bring inner peace, no matter what sort of the situation. You can keep peace of mind. And that brings willpower. Now today, you can see Tibet, over 70 years, Chinese communists much sort of suppress, and about, I think, 1 million Tibetan killed. Various sort of method. Chinese communists, narrow-minded communists, they practice, but Tibetan spirit never died down. Still today, you see, about 6 to 7 million Tibetan in Tibet or in different parts of China, Tibetan races, they all carry our spirit very strong. So now recently I heard some Chinese top leaders, you see, they realize their policy, suppression, is wrong, unrealistic method. Now they are thinking more realistic sort of method, realistic approach dealing Tibetan issue. So all these Tibetan people, we have very, very rich cultural heritage from India. So Tibetan nation, generally speaking, very proud. Chinese Han people also is very proud. Equally, we Tibetan also are quite proud. We have our own language, our own script. And then Buddha Dharma is concerned because we, as I mentioned earlier, text Dignak, Dharmakirti, this logic, Buddhist logic. China, they have not much interest about the logic. So in the past history, never translated this importance of text about Buddhist logic. We study. So Tibetan quite proud. And I come very remote area, northeast Tibet. But I feel we're quite proud. You see, we have our own language and our knowledge about Buddhist philosophy, Buddha Dharma, because we learned a logical approach. So, compared with Chinese Buddhist, our mind more sort of smart. The Chinese Buddhists, Buddham Shanam Gacchami, Buddham Shanam Gacchami, like that. Not much sort of logical knowledge. The logical way approach is investigate, not just faith. Buddha himself, you see, express, my follower, monks, scholars should not accept my teaching out of faith, but rather thorough investigation and experiment. So for that, logic, very important. So when we saw Buddha's sort of teaching, our immediate reaction is, why Buddha said this? We never say yes, yes. The Chinese, yes, yes, yes. Truly. So therefore, now Tibetan, as a nation, this Nalanda tradition really give us self-confidence and willpower. So, from that viewpoint also, we very, very grateful to this country. And then, me personally, now since 1959, I become refugee. And one way I refugee, one way I'm longest guest of Indian government. So now these days I describe myself as the messenger of Indian thought. Wherever I go, I always talk about ahimsa, karuna. So I truly, carry the ancient Indian message, karuna, and ahimsa, wherever I go. So, I think 60 years as a guest of Indian government, I think now, almost I think I pay back because I carry the message of India to everywhere. And then India's also the tradition, the secular way, not based on religion, even non-believer, I believe in this religion, that religion. It's a personal matter. So long we are human being. So ahimsa, karuna, very relevant. So not based on religion. That's a very wise India's tradition. And then, as I mentioned earlier, you see, we logical approach, everything logical approach. So therefore, we have very close link with modern scientists. Because we investigate, not say yes, yes, but why? So now today, some Chinese university scholar who saw some publication which we made here, some Chinese scholar, is after seeing these texts, they described Tibetan Buddhism is genuine Nalanda tradition, and that tradition is very scientific tradition. So we now as an Indian government Saraswati guest, wherever I go, I always carry this ancient Indian thought, Indian message. I think among Indian leaders, I think so far I never saw someone who really carried this ancient Indian thought.
Truly an ambassador.
So now, over 60 years, in a way, refugee, but in a way, I fully utilize India's freedom, democracy. So I have the best opportunity while I become refugee. If I still in Tibet, no such freedom. So I really feel remain this country, enjoy India's freedom and free media. Like that. So, and then the karuna is key factor for happy individual. Most destructive emotion is anger, hatred. Now scientists also say constant anger, constant hatred is actually eating our immune system. So more compassionate mind, peaceful mind, very important for our health also. And then some scientists say, basic human nature, we are a social animal, therefore basic human nature is more also the compassion. Because any social animal, the sense of concern of remaining their sort of community by nature for their survival entirely depend on the community. So taking care of the community by nature, because of the physical, biological factor. So human beings really need a sense of concern of others' well-being. So now India's 1,000-year-old tradition, ahimsa, compassion, this, I think, now world need. A lot of problems which we are facing is our own creation. Because with too much emphasis the political sort of matters or some different, even religion, you see, use, causing conflict. Impossible. All religion, in spite of different philosophy, all religion carry same message of love, message of forgiveness, tolerance. And of course, use different philosophy. Major world religious tradition, they are theistic, believe God, creator. And Sangha philosophy, Jain philosophy, Buddhist philosophy, no, also the creator, but rather self-creation. So philosophical field differences, but in spite of that, all carry message of love, compassion. So therefore, now today's world, in the name of religion, killing each other, unthinkable, unthinkable. So all religion, in spite of different philosophy, different concept, all carry the same message. So in that respect now, India is the example. All major world religious traditions can live together harmoniously. Wonderful. In here, among Indian Muslim, I never heard complaint about Sunni and Shia. Like that, in this country, I think, from childhood, they already know there are many different religions. So they take for granted. So the concept of several truth, several religion is there. Some country, you see, who have not much contact with wider sort of the human being, then they just one truth, one religion, then that causing problem. So in terms of individual, concept of one truth, one religion, very good. In terms of humanity, a group of society, then it is impossible. So ultimately, according to the reality, several truth, several religion, they are all carry the same message. So India's religious harmony, I think, wonderful. Now Indian religious scholars and leaders, I think, should be more active, where, you see, those areas in the very name of religion fighting. So India should make some contribution to promote religious harmony. That's very, very important. One of my commitment is promotion of religious harmony. I have full confidence religious harmony possible. Look, India, over 1 billion human population and all world religion live together here. So this is my commitment, promotion of religious harmony, also learn from India. It is a living example. And then now latest my commitment, I'm trying to revival of ancient Indian knowledge about mind, about emotion. And India is the only country who can combine modern education and ancient Indian knowledge. Ancient Indian knowledge brings mental peace. Modern education brings physical comfort or material development and technology, science, wonderful. But that alone, not taking care, not knowing about emotion, then look, Western nations, generally speaking, is a modern education. They're highly developed, and technology, science, highly developed. But mental level is too much emotion. So therefore, the world need 1,000-year-old India's tradition, ahimsa, karuna. These are mental level. So through education, not through prayer, not through ritual, as I mentioned earlier, secular way. So in order to significant contribution to world humanity, firstly, within the country should revive this ancient Indian knowledge, how to tackle our emotion, through fuller knowledge about a map of our, which sort of full knowledge, usually I describe map of emotion, fuller knowledge, then we can, through systematic method, to reduce anger, to increase karuna, like that. So India, very, very ancient sort of nation, now in modern time, I think combine ancient these knowledge and modern knowledge, and through that way, you can truly make significant contribution for happy world through inner peace or through karuna. So now some question.
Your Holiness, how do you perceive yourself as a monk in this material world?
Karsan.
How do you perceive yourself as a monk in this material world?
So monk means celibate, no family. So when I saw some of my friend, you see, the one occasion when I met one wife, and after a few years another wife, and the children of previous wives now say feel uncomfortable. So when I saw such things, then I feel, as a monk, celibate, I think very good, much less trouble. Okay.
Your Holiness, good morning, and Your Honor, morning.
Kodo.
It's really a privilege for all of us. It's a blessed day that we have two great leaders in front of us, and we have both your wisdom to share. Your Holiness, I beg your forgiveness. I don't agree with one thing you said. You said that you are a guest. Your Holiness, you are not a guest. You are in our hearts, and India would not be India without you and the rest of the Tibetans who are here with us. They are our brothers and sisters. Your Holiness, I have one question. I wanted to understand that the next Buddha, according to the text, will be Maitreya. That is the Buddha of compassion, love and friendship. Now in this world today, Your Holiness, we see so many problems around us. As you mentioned, World War III. Everywhere we look, we hear of doomsday. But Buddhism gives us hope in the form of the next Buddha. So could you please enlighten us about this topic?
I'm Buddhist. But some Buddhist text I do not accept as literally. Like Mount Meru, I don't believe. The great scholar of Nalendra, younger brother of Arya Asanga, Abhidhamma his writing. So he described very detailed about Mount Meru and size of sun and moon. Or just this morning, when I approaching here, the cloud day in the cloud day, some sort of clear picture about sun. I really thought, oh, the Bosuband, when he look sun, little cloudy, and seems not much differences, big differences of size, moon and sun. So he described in Abhidhamma well, not much big differences of size, and it's the same level. These are disgrace. I don't believe. If another Buddhist logical approach, yana nang do ronga le manana and mev tha chawra. Nang ru mami betinsi.
There is a type of logic which is where we say that if something were to be perceptible and if it's not perceived by us, then we cannot say it exists.
Yeah, this one. So, Mount Meru, from here, from India to Europe, Europe to America, America to Hawaii, Hawaii to Japan, Japan to India. I think millions of people flying. No one saw Mount Meru. And supposed to see night, the sun, the other side of Mount Meru. So one sort of the side of the world dark. So these are nonsense. So now Maitreya Buddha. I think after several centuries, according to our text, then I think before Maitreya Buddha come, world may disappear. According to ecology, the global warming. Now, next century, global warming become too sort of serious and may become, world become a desert. So then, we human beings cannot sort of survive. Then Maitreya Buddha come, no use. So this moment, Buddha's teaching still there. And many Nalanda masters' commentary is excellent. So instead of some hoping next Buddha, I think today's Buddha's teaching here, we should pay more attention for the realistic way, study, practice. Otherwise, it's something you say, like food. This is something ready to eat. You wait tomorrow, useless. Similarly, we already met Buddha's teaching. And there's a possibility to study and think. And nowadays, combined with modern science, So that's much better. This very moment, you are ready to eat or practice neglect and hoping something next. I think kasoda, no, wishful thinking, not good.
Any other question?
Your Holiness, can you suggest a simple way of being happy in life?
Karsa.
Happy.
Simple way of being happy in life.
I think look, children, young children, I think very happy because they simply, you see, very much fresh about basic human value or human nature, compassion. Once we join education, in modern education, not much sort of pay attention about inner value. The India's modern education introduced by Britisher. They have their religion just to pray, God, God, God. You see, no knowledge about how to transform our mind through training, through shamatha, through vipassana. So, today's education system, I think, not adequate to bring happy individual, happy family, happy community. So now, education field, I think should add some ancient Indian sort of knowledge, how to bring peace of mind, how to tackle our emotion in a secular way. That I think very important. So one of my now commitment is try to revival of ancient Indian knowledge, not through ritual, not through prayer, but through education. These days I sort of expressing from kindergarten level, we have the sort of some also the some sort of knowledge, hygiene of physical. Now we should include hygiene of emotion from kindergarten level up to university level. India can do, no other country. So this 1,000-year-old your tradition is your tradition. Only question of revival, not learning from something from Kasoda, outside, part of your own sort of tradition. So only question is revival. Okay. So ultimate sort of source of happiness is compassion. More anger, as I already mentioned, brings anxiety, frustration. And then no longer peace of mind. So compassion, the whole world, through practice compassion, several decades, then the whole universe appears something very positive. No basis of frustration or fear. Okay. Next question.
Your Holiness, please enlighten us about the concept of karma to usher in a just social order.
This Buddha stated very clear. If you harm other, you get negative consequences. If you help other, you get positive consequences. Very simple. So action. Therefore, ahimsa come. If you harm other, you get suffering. If you help other, out of compassion, you get a benefit. That is simple. And then, I think, in the society, bring more equal particularly the poor people. Now this gap, rich and poor, very sad. At global level and national level. Within India also, you see, there is quite a serious gap, rich and poor. So in this field, your profession, rule of law, I think you also very important part to bring more equal. Under the rule, under the law, everybody, same. So, India's freedom plus rule of law, I think, very important, very good. Okay. Next.
Your Holiness, it is an enlightening discourse on oneness, and it just made me think a little, and it would help better to understand if you could have your personal view on how you manage to practice oneness and how you effect that in your life, in your situation, and where you stand with China.
According to Buddhism, particularly Nalanda tradition, we usually describe entire sentient being, mother sentient being. Say, a life beginningless. You see, always go that way. So, some contact and different sort of different life. So therefore, we describe entire sentient being is our mother sentient being. That's our main practice. Then daily, you see, think about the value of bodhicitta, altruism. There's immense help. You see, and then, like the Shantadeva mentioned, think more others' well-being and more concerned about others' suffering. You get maximum happiness. The more you think your own sort of selfish sort of thing, there's more suffering. Clearly mention these things. Dr. Shenji Dunga da yanda jawa mashana, Sanji yutu mirush kwa na ya dewa mesali.
So Master Shantideva in his Bodhisattva Charya Avatar says, unless you switch your own joy and happiness with suffering of others, live alone reaching Buddhahood, even in the cycle of existence, you will not have happiness.
So today's many problems, including gap rich and poor, lack of sense of concern of others' well-being, just think oneself, selfish. So the practical level also, more altruism there, at least in the someone or more altruistic attitude, that the whole member of community consider that person wonderful. So at the time of, you see, death, you see, all the community feel very sad. Now that wonderful person, now no longer. If a person is always think a selfish way and even use selfish way everywhere, every time, then at the time of death, I think the community feel happy. Now that troublemaker, now no longer. So even that, I think you prefer at the time of death. There's more people concerned, or you are dead, you prefer that, or more people happy now that the troublemaker no longer. Anyway, and also now, with warm-heartedness, wherever you go, with smile, you see response from other side also response. So immediately you feel no longer lonely. I always used to practice that, and whenever I meet people, I don't care. You see, they are rank or they are sort of profession. So long human face there, I smile and talk like that. No differences, rank or profession or rich or poor. When I passing through in big hotel, I always shake hand, dikasa, chamatasa, sweepers. I really, you see, believe we are same. And on practical level, you see, whenever I saw some poor person, I always shake hand like that. So that gives me, I have everywhere I have friend. Then no longer lonely feeling. If I too much emphasis my position, I am Dalai Lama. So then whole world one Dalai Lama. If I too much emphasis that, I feel much more lonely. Then yes, the other person say, celebrate one single person. So really feeling of lonely. Next question.
Just give the mic.
His Holiness, my daughter is doing research on the topic workplace spirituality. She has met His Holiness in Bulgaria recently. She has many questions to ask. But one question is, what lesson do you think can be taken from monastery teaching system to improve the modern education system so that what future generations receive is not merely bounded and rigid textual information, but the ability to reflect, unlearn, and relearn new things?
In Tibet, as I mentioned earlier, you see, in those big monastic institutions, you see, they very much emphasize study. Now, nearly, I think, soon after we come India, I suggested those monastic institutions now should include study about science. So now some big monastic institution, they have their own laboratories, science laboratory. And then also the final examination, because the free choice. However, in final examination should include the scientific knowledge. So, and then Tibetan school in India, with immense help from Pandit Nehru, we established separate Tibetan school in this country. So, at the early 60s, you see people, one allocation, because of the religious teacher. Then after some time, I changed that. Chöki said Mavse, and Turuki such.
So today, instead of calling these teachers religious instructors, we have changed the name to philosophy lecturers or teachers.
So, a secular way. So now, the monastic institution also used to study science and more connection with because of some university. For example, recently I was in Goa, some sort of program in Goa University, and bring some Tibetan scholars and some Goa as a modern sort of scholar go to Tibetan monastic institution, some exchange like that. So we are now doing more sort of exchange these things. So last few centuries is Tibetan monastery only those Buddhist texts. And from early period, I told, now here in this country, many scholars of non-Buddhist tradition. So now we can discuss. So this we should take this opportunity. In Tibet, non-Buddhist school of thought, only books. So like that, so as an academic education, so only sort of, only also our tradition way is not adequate. Like that. And then, what do you want?
Your Holiness, right from childhood, we hear that meditation brings peace of mind. But very few of us or none of us know how to meditate. Can you tell us a simple way how to practice meditation? We would like to learn from you.
I think firstly, you should know the Western psychology when they mentioned about mind, only sensorial level consciousness. So now when we talk meditation, the sixth mind, Chit, when you so firstly, you say, Kasoda, you remain without follow sensorial consciousness. Then you remain more and more time. Then you may feel some kind of empty. Because usually our senses organs very active. Now withdraw that, stop that, and then mind itself. At the beginning, some kind of empty. Then further goes, then gradually you feel some kind of clear, something like mirror, shigusochi. Clear, pure. Now that should take as an object of meditate. Then you get more sort of experience, remain on that pureness of mind. Then think about also the altruism, much more powerful. Usually, our sensorial, also the consciousness, very, very active, almost dominant our main mind. So, best period is early morning. Early morning, then you see you deliberately withdraw following sensorial also the experiences. Then try to remain the main mind. That gradually increase the power of main mind. Then that there are two types. Single-pointed meditation, that's shamatha. Then the power of mental energy increasing. Then that use vipassana, analytical meditation. Then analyze, like altruism and the negativeness about anger and negativeness about self-centered attitude, analyze, analytical meditation. That really affect our mind. So real sort of meditation, firstly, is to try to increase mental power, channelize all energy, single-pointed sort of, because of the energy, then concentrate, then think about vipassana, analytical meditation. The real effect come from analytical meditation. Vipassana is truly best weapon to affect our mind. That's not only test my own experience. Now, at least the last 50 years, I seriously thinking this line. So some experience. So I'm telling you, according to my own experience. So very useful. That brings sharpening your mind also automatically. So one sort of funny story. And last year, in East India, once I visited there, some politicians also at that time is visiting there. So then we met, and then we become very close friend. Then one day when we met, he inquired about my sleep as a rest. Then I told him, I always 9 hours sleep, then about 4 hours meditation, sharpening my mind so that I can cheat other people more easily. Then his answer immediately, he only 6 hours sleep, so he cannot cheat other people. So, analytical meditation, really the real method to transform our negative emotion and increase positive emotion. Result, you become more physically more healthier and mentally more peace, more calm. As I already mentioned, as a result of practice of altruism, then there is nothing negative. Everything appears something positive. That I have that experience. So very helpful. Peace of mind. Okay. Any question?
One. Yes.
Holiness, my question is that how this karma of this life will affect our their rebirth or later on. How the present karma will affect our, if there is a rebirth or there is a possibility of rebirth, or it will affect our karma, this karma to the next life.
I think one story, one sort of record. The first Dalai Lama, some scholars become his student, a very close relation. So these people again reborn human being and become very close friend, second Dalai Lama. Then third Dalai Lama. Go like that, the fourth or fifth Dalai Lama. So once, you see, we develop some kind of karmic link, then that effect carries life after life. Since the Indian tradition, whether you call Atma or independent self or soul, it's no beginning of life, no end. Always go that way. Since, according to that tradition, no creator, but rather self-creation. But our life go like that. So I often, you see, telling Tibetan or some sort of my friend, so since this lifetime, we develop some special sort of karmic link. So this effect remain life after life. Like that. So, you see, karmic effect or result of certain action. Karma means action. So certain action, result of certain action is some within a short time may cause the fruit. Or sometimes after life. So there are variety. And this karmic, the karmic force, in order to materialize, there's other sort of factors also involved, not just karma itself, but certain conditions. So these are the Indian tradition. So ancient Indian, your mind very sophisticated. Therefore, you see, you carry as a you kasoda, you develop very complicated philosophy. But these are true. My own experience, some people from childhood, they already express their knowing me. When I was very young, I also, you see, have some ability to recognize some people. This lifetime never met, but I recognize them. And to my own, and then also, you see, I met some young child. As soon as we met, they recognized me. So these are some sort of effect from previous life. So the ancient also Indian tradition, you see, no creator but self-creation, and go like that. It's very wise, very realistic. Of course, I respect all religion. My friend, one Indian friend, he very religious minded. Now he once, he asked me very seriously, God, infinite love. So world created by God. And then among his creation, there are many mischievous people there. Why God creates that? Then my answer, I told him,
Yes.
Since God created heaven and hell, so there must be someone who ready go to hell. Otherwise, no use to creation of hell. Then that person, not that much sort of logical thinking. So he says that yes, okay. But why, that kind of thinking. Then he further questioned, why God creates hell? So you see, a lot of contradiction. So except this creator, very nice. Many people, you see, get immense benefit. The God as our Father, Jesus Christ our Father, infinite love. So from that viewpoint, we all 7 billion human beings are brothers, sisters from one Father. Wonderful, very powerful. So the entire human being on this planet come from one Father, Jesus Christ, or God, or Muslim, Allah. So that single creator, and we all creation of that single sort of creator, very powerful sort of theory or view. Meantime, also create a lot of contradictions. So Nalendra tradition, I think, much wiser. Okay. So now, I decide every winter I come Bodh Gaya.
Yes.
This is because there are many people, and certainly from Buddhist country, is come here. And then also some non-Buddhist countries, some people come here. So now I decide at least next, I think 10 years, that means now today, 84-year-old, now 10 years, 94, I think I can manage. So I want come down the Bodh Gaya and remain 2-3 weeks and talk. As I mentioned earlier, it's sometimes you see in the name of spiritual leader, name of Lama, sometimes you see their main concern is money. So, and religion, a traditional way, just a ritual, that's not sufficient. I, as a scientific minded, now religion, this ultimate sort of source, religion, wonderful. Now, sometimes we just, some people, you see, carry these wonderful teaching more ritual way. That is wrong. So I always make clear the ritual is something different, but in order to carry meaningful ritual, you should have full knowledge about Buddha Dharma and some deeper experience about meditation. And then these rituals are good. But otherwise, just read the text and use some sort of instrument, it is not good. So sometimes I think quite too frank to criticize some of the sort of traditional way, just sort of blind faith. This is, now I always make, I try to, religion should be realistic, not hypocrisy. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Indeed.